Alright, so back. Decide what I'm gonna do. Sorry, so early in the morning. You're gonna notice my son playing over there. What?
Mama.
Yeah, Mama's making breakfast. So I'm not gonna put handlebars on it. I'm just gonna take it apart all the way to the frame and get it prepared to be hardtailed, and then still shopping around. I want a Springer front end on it, so yeah. But first things first, I'm just gonna strip everything off, get it hardtailed eventually. Replace the disc brakes back here with replace the rotor brake with disc brakes, and it's already chain drive, so that's nice. Don't have to do that. Get the chain taken care of, get lubricated, all that kind of stuff. And here's my little man right here. Say hi.
Bobby.
Oh yeah? Remember, we don't step on this. Oh yeah? So I'm going to do a voiceover of the teardown as I go through, because I'm speeding it up because it's a 4-part video series. But basically all I'm doing is undoing what I did in the previous video, taking off the handlebar risers and knocking out the handlebar bushings. That's what the punch is for. It's really easy. You just take the little rubber top piece off, take the punch on the metal, knock them out. And then now I'm taking out the headlight. So it's 2 Allens right on the top there, and that will remove the headlight housing, allow you to unplug it, and kind of start getting into the wiring. So what I'm doing here is taking off this plate housing. This is what was connected to the headlight, and it connected it to the triple trees. Underneath that, what you see all those wires running into is essentially just a connector. I think the person did this before, did their own wiring job, and it's just essentially a metal plate with a bunch of screws that are attached to all the wires. So now I'm starting to take apart the handlebars, starting with the mirrors. So these split handlebars are kind of strange. I don't know if I would really trust them when I'm riding down the road, but they're there. So I'm gonna definitely run a singular handlebar, internally wired again, most likely, with what few wires I do have, because it will be a chopper. But I'm taking off the mirrors on both sides, and trying to make sure my son doesn't fall down the hill over there or something like that. I'm just kidding, he's not really gonna fall down the hill, but he likes playing on the motorcycle trailer back there and grabbing the little reflectors and banging it on the trailer. So I'm looking at him because I don't quite understand how this is done, so I'm testing out the horn to see where the horn is. So in this bike, it's not on the left side of the engine. It's actually in the front. If you look between the 2 forks above the front fender, that's the horn, and it's attached to what I assume is the CPU for this bike. I'm not really sure. I haven't seen one like that before. Then again, this motorcycle does date me by a lot. But anyway, so now I'm taking apart the clamps on the handlebars to remove the clutch, free that. So kind of what I started doing is removing everything that's not attached to the engine. And the reason why I kind of did that is at least gives me a base to take as much stuff off to like simplify it as possible, because I don't know how the wiring is done in this bike because I didn't do it. So that would be the benefit of whenever I start wiring up the bike, is I'll know how it's all done and I'll kind of get to wire it myself. Not that I'm an electrician or anything, but at least I'll kind of know. So now I'm taking off the horn button, and part of what I'm doing is taking it apart to find out which wire it is, so I can actually go and find where to unplug it. So you saw me pull off the seat. The seat wasn't really bolted on, as you can tell from the intro video that I made on it. And it's a very kind of like bobber-esque seat, but without the nice little spring suspension. I definitely will not be putting that back on the bike. And that whole seat mounting U-shaped bracket on there definitely won't be going back on. So, you know, probably just gonna be throwing it away because it's not really usable. It's really rotted on the underside of the seat, and as you can see underneath that seat bracket back there is another little circuit board that they put in. That one mirrors the one in the front exactly. So there's two of them. Well, actually, there's three. There's one down by the starter as well, which you'll see in probably the next video because I don't get to it in this one. So I'm working on taking off the brake master cylinder for the front. The wiring for this, like I said, was not done by me. It was done very strange, so I'm trying to figure out, as you can see there, how to like remove it, because it was kind of like wrapped around, which is very strange. And then I'm just screwing back in the all the screws so I know where they came out of, so I don't lose anything and end up with a whole bunch of extra pieces. So I'm going to try and reuse as much of the stock stuff as possible. And I really like the minimalist kind of reservoir that's on there. It's like got that aluminum finish on it. Looks really nice. Don't know if I'm going to switch it out for chrome or not. Plus it has really nice steel braided cables, and they look like they go up pretty high. I mean, I did put those riser extensions on there, and I still had plenty of slack to go. So probably try and keep them, save me a little money. And also, it's kind of got that old school finish to it. So I seem to be jumbling around a lot, and if you're wondering why, it's because I have a deadline. We're going to the park, so I'm setting up the drain on the for the fuel, so I can set the gas tank and the oil to drain. So all I'm doing is disconnecting the fuel line into the carburetor. That's what you see me doing right there. And then once I do that, I'm going to empty it into the 2-gallon gas can right there. And then I'm going to do a really ingenious, what they call a pro move. And I'm going to basically elevate the gas tank, the gas can, and just let it gravity drip. And then I'll use duct tape to tape all the hoses together, because they're not an exact fit. It's just basically some extra hose that I grabbed from the back. And then my little back room back there. So I'm just tapping it out and get all the extra fuel out of there, just so I don't have a mess everywhere. I end up having a mess because oil, but it's not that bad. So like I said, I got 100-mile-an-hour tape here, and I'm going to do what duct tape does best and hold two things that should not be together so that it will work for me despite not going out and buying what I really need to buy. So because the hose I have is too short, I'm just taking a paint can and the box for the drill that I bought for my wife's oil pan, and just setting up that automatic drip there. So now I'm unbolting the gas tank. It's two simple bolts, one in the front where I just put it on. So you just take a wrench, put it on the other side, and then just hold it, loosen it up. I'm not too concerned about the paint on the gas tank because it's kind of a crappy gas tank. So definitely not going to keep it, but I'm definitely not going to use it. I'm sorry, I misspoke. I'm definitely going to keep it, but not use it on this bike. I'd have to have the inside inspected to see if it's even good to use. It's not too rusted out. I don't think it is, but it has a lot of surface rust underneath the black paint. And the paint job on this wasn't that good, so I definitely have to get the frame repainted, which is kind of unfortunate, but it works out well with the hardtail anyway, so. So loosening up the gas tank like that comes in handy for later because I can kind of tip it on its side and get it really loose. Unfortunately, there's a fuel transfer hose underneath this one. Luckily, though, it's a wire one, and it's very small, so it doesn't drip as much as the fuel hose ones do. And it's a little easier to control. But now I'm moving on to the oil pan essentially, and I'm going to do a similar thing. So I'm bringing over my I forget oil catch or oil pan, whatever. I can't think of the actual word right now. And I'm getting ready to drain it. Unfortunately, it's high on the bikes, not low like on the newer ones. But I have a quick fix that you'll see here in a minute. It involves more duct tape and a funnel. So right now I'm trying to unbolt it and take it off. Well, sorry, I shouldn't say that. I'm actually unbolting the exhaust right here on the bottom. This one clamp, there's two clamps back here specifically. Alright, so now I am getting it all set up. I'm going to duct tape it, and then I'm going to loosen the nut and let it drain out. So, yep, there you go. Setting up the automatic drip there, and that was my wife coming down to get me. So, like, comment, subscribe, see you in the next one.